Just start singing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Xmastime, where I go through, it's not a review of the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I go through each episode and keep track of Larry's many transgressions, big and small, and I keep a running score of how he does, because, the general perception is Larry's just some sort of asshole buzzsawing through society, but sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. So, today's episode is The Doll from Season 2, Episode 7. It first aired on November 4th, 2001. First of all, right away, am I learning while doing this that I fucking hate Jeff? Last week, not last week, but the episode when we are introduced to Leon, long story short, turns out Jeff's been beaten off all over Larry's bed sheets. And then he tries to tell us, oh, he's at the dinner table and he got an erection, and even after hours of stuff in his face and boozing, he just couldn't contain his massive hard-on and had to go jerk off. So, your eyes are already rolling in your head. But then in the middle of this meeting with the head of ABC, Michaelston, whose name will come up throughout, I believe, Jeff just point blank asks Larry something like, hey, what's up with you drinking all this water? Like, why in the middle of a business meeting would you just have some side across the room, too? It's not like he whispered, like, I'm worried about you, buddy. I hope you're not dying. Why are you chugging so much water? Just, hey, why are you drinking so much? It's like, what the fuck? And then someone asks how Susie's doing. They close this deal. Larry's going to do this show with ABC. They're doing a handshake. They're kind of celebrating, pound themselves in the back. And somebody says to Jeff, how's Susie doing? And instead of just fucking saying, fine or great or whatever, turns out, they'd just broken up for like a hot minute or something. And so not only does he say not so good, we may be splitting up, he says, yeah, and I'm staying in a hotel. Like, what the fuck? Why would you say all that in some business meeting? So I don't know. I'm starting to learn maybe I fucking hate Jeff. Anyway, let's get started. First transgression is, of course, the lady telling Larry he can't bring water in to this event. Michaelston, the head of ABC, is showing some two-part event on Harriet Beecher Stowe. And when I say two-part event, I don't mean like you show up and there's an intervention and you have some rich people food and talk rich people stuff. It's over 2 nights. It's like they go to this showing, see half of it at this guy's house, have to go through a fucking dinner party of sorts with complete strangers mostly, and then it's like, all right, see y'all tomorrow night when we do it all over again. When does that fucking happen? I don't know if I do Christmas 2 days in a row. All right, go to bed and come back and maybe Santa. We'll all do this all over again. What the fuck? I've never heard of any societal event in which people get up, get dressed, put on a nice sport coat, show up, do the handshakes, eat the crappy food or whatever, and then do it again. That's just fucking bananas. Anyway, I got sidetracked. What the hell is that? Oh, the woman telling Larry can't bring the water in, and he's kind of bummed, but he throws the water out, and then, of course, it turns out she doesn't even fucking work there. And Larry confronts her like, why did you tell me how to get rid of the water if you don't work here? She's like, well, that's the rule. And he's like, what the fuck do you care? So, I mean, he's exactly right. I don't know who this, fuck this woman. Who that fucking warden? I mean, come on. This is one of the few times, if not the only time, throughout the entire series that I can think of where I think I would react pretty much exactly like Larry did. I think in that case, I would be like, what the hell? Who the fuck are you? And, of course, then he's making fun, like, oh, teacher can have more extra credit, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I think it's the only time I would have reacted like Larry. So she's ridiculous. He's right in this one. So right off the bat, he starts out 1-0. Oh, I should mention, up to this point, with the 3 episodes before, Larry was, before this episode, 8-11. 8 times he won his transgression in my mind, 8 times he lost. So we'll see how he's doing so far. He's 1-0 in this one. Second transgression is Larry versus the unlocked bathroom. Goes in to take a whiz in this hallway bathroom, or it's like in the lobby of this guy's building. And Larry takes like 20 minutes desperately trying to find out a way to piss without the door opening because there's no lock. And it's like, all right, Larry, just fucking... You could have pissed 10 fucking times while you were panicking in there. Nobody was coming in. You can stand at the toilet and slightly turn your body so that even if somebody does open the door, they just see you. And by the time they realize they walked in someone in the bathroom, they're so horrified and they're gone anyway. Because let me tell you something. I hate to tell you, Larry David, I love you and everything, but nobody's busting through a door to get a good look at your shriveled up old ass dick. All right, and I mean that even in 2001. All right, I don't know who's got the fucking ego. I understand guys have performance anxiety in the bathroom. I guess I don't do that. I'll fucking piss anywhere, but come on. What the ego on this motherfucker? Yeah, people just clamoring, they break through and see your fucking dick. All right, but so he loses that one. Larry, it's 1-1. Come on, Larry, just fucking piss. But I will say, this is the goddamn head of ABC, a big muckety muck. He's having as I said, not one night, but 2 fucking night soiree at his house. This is the main bathroom people see when they're walking. They're all walking through this lobby, and there's a bathroom, and he doesn't think, hey, let's make sure there's a lock on the bathroom door. All these super important people coming to my house, not once but 2 nights. Maybe I'll put a lock on the door. How does this fucking guy get to the head of ABC? I don't know. Well, I'll tell you how. His wife is played by Rita Wilson, Rita Tom Hanks, whatever you want to call her, and she has always been if not a Miss Xmastime, on the emergency Miss Xmastime list. Num, you know what I'm saying? I mean, huh? See? Anyway. The third transgression is just Larry cutting the doll's hair in the first place. I mean, it's just fucking stupid. Why are you engaging with this? He hates kids anyway. I get, hey, how you doing? Can I use your bathroom? Great. But then he stops and wants to have a conversation with her about her fucking doll. And then it's bad enough he agrees to cut it, but he's not like, hey, do you have a pair of scissors or something? He's like, whips out some fucking Swiss Army knife from his pocket. That he again whips out a couple minutes later when he's confronted by the mother and the kid. Pulls out this Swiss Army knife with a scissor or something. It was just a knife. So it just looks bad. Why are you even fucking cutting it, Larry? Get the hell out of the room. Why are you cutting the doll's hair? 1 and 2. This time for Larry. Fourth transgression is Larry. Now Cheryl. I think this is the second night. No, this is still the first fucking night at this place. I don't know. I lost track. Anyway, Cheryl asked him. Yeah, it is the first night. I'm sorry. Cheryl asked him to watch the door while she's going to the bathroom. And, of course, that's when he gets distracted by Rita Wilson, and this kid. And apparently Michelson, whatever his first name is, the head of ABC, whose house it is, who knows there's no fucking lock on the goddamn door. Perv much. Can we call this motherfucker Chuck Berry? Just breezes in and sees Cheryl, and so she's horrified. Larry, I understand he got distracted because now it's when the mother and kid comes yelling at him, but you can't leave a woman in the bathroom with the door open, theoretically, when she asks you to. That's tough to defend that one, Larry. Because, it's even worse for women, because at least in dudes, if somebody walks on and a dude standing there at the urinal, at least they know you're just pissing. I mean, whereas a woman, you turn the corner and there's a woman in the using the bathroom, that means she's sitting on the toilet. So she could either be just taking taking a piss. Taking a piss. Or for all you know, she's just sitting there destroying the toilet bowl. Like just totally blowing it up. So do understand why for women it is a little more vulnerable even in that frame of reference. Okay, so now Larry's 1 and 3 for this episode. Fifth transgression is when the kid and the mother confront Larry. Oh my God, the kid is shrieking. How could you cut the hair? I didn't know it would be like this. The mother's yelling at him. As much as I love Rita Wilson, num 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 num. This kid is a fucking psycho. This kid is pure evil. Oh, let me get this old man who's coming through. Old man, I think I'm about to be Larry's age at that time. Jesus fucking Christ. Let me get this guy coming to use a kid's bathroom, have him cut my doll's hair, and then immediately come down and shriek that he fucking like a pedo barber is just, cutting everybody's hair, acting like, I don't even know what to say. This kid's just it's like fucking, I loved your work in The Omen, kid. What a shit. That kid's a shit. I know Larry fucked up. He shouldn't have cut the kid's hair, but then the kid to turn around and act all, oh my God, how could this happen? You know what happened. You're a fucking psycho evil kid. That's how it fucking happened. Larry's 2 and 3 of this episode. 6 transgression, I was on Larry's side about you can't leave Cheryl in the bathroom. But then she kind of oversteps later on. She's yelling at him for letting her down, which, like I said, Larry, no defense. But then she yells at him. She wants him to not do his show anymore because of the head of ABC walking in there. And it's like, all right, I'm not pulling my fucking show, my whole livelihood and career because you embarrassed some guy, almost saw your thighs or something, now whatever the fuck you were doing in the bathroom. How did women go to the bathroom? Nobody knows. And then she's like, can you imagine the worst? Can you imagine the worst moment a person could walk in on someone? The absolute worst. Like, really? I'm sure I think there's been instances throughout human history where they'd prefer to be someone sitting on a toilet at the president of ABC's cushy little party than caught doing something. Come on. There's worse things to be doing. Punching a puppy in the face. If somebody walks on you doing that, that's worse than getting caught sitting on the toilet. I mean, come on, let's be real. So she overstepped. Come on, Cheryl. Turn it down a fucking notch. You can't ask Larry to drop his show. No matter what happens. I mean, we understand he doesn't get the show, whatever. Of course, it's not going to happen for Larry. But you can't ask him to do that just because you're slightly embarrassed about some shit. So that's bullshit. Larry's tied it up for this episode, 3-3. Let's go to 7th transgression. Oh, this is another guy. Here's my boy Jeff. My buddy fucking Jeff. So they go to Jeff's house. He says his kid has a doll. Has the same Judy doll. They can take the head and replace it. No problem. So they get to this room, his kid's room. Of course, there's 1,000 dolls. Jeff sees one. He's like, oh my God, this is the doll. And then these two fucking idiots get in an argument about whether it's not the doll based on the eye color. Like, Jeff's in a room, his daughter's room, which I'm sure this is the first time he's fucking been in. And it's wall to wall, nothing but dolls. And yet he's boom, in an instant, he knows which doll it is. And then Larry, who saw this doll maybe for 0 seconds, even while he was slicing her hair off with his Swiss Army knife, he thinks he knows the color of the doll's eyes. It's not even just no, I think this is the doll's head. No, this is the doll's head. They're fighting. One of them knows it's brown eyes. One of them knows it's blue eyes. I couldn't tell you the name. I couldn't tell you the color of their eyes of any woman I've been with, pretty much. I'd say, or the names, but they've asked me to not say their names. Anyway, that just totally. And while they're arguing over claiming to know the fucking doll's eyes, they also Jeff very, very confidently states that Susie and his daughter could not recognize the doll. So Jeff and Larry David know what this doll looks like down to the intimate details, but Jeff's wife, the mother of his daughter, whose doll it is, that has a room full of dolls, indicating that maybe she cares about dolls and may actually take a second to get to know her dolls. They don't know. But in a fight between Larry and Jeff, I got to give it to Larry, because in the end, he picked the right doll. So, which is kind of ridiculous too. The odds of them actually doing it are 0, but and then in the very end, so that's Larry up 4-3 this episode. And then the very end, it ends with Larry he's using the women's room because they're locked in. Because the because the men's room at whatever place is just a shithole, just funks up so bad. So then Larry uses the women's room, and of course then the kid comes up and gives him a hug in the women's room, and he's got a bottle of water he's hiding, so now she thinks he's got a heart on. So yeah, you're not going to win any argument if you're caught in the women's bathroom. And it does make it more difficult if the argument you're fighting is no, I did not have an erection while I was hugging this kid in the women's room. You're just not going to win that one. So, sorry, Larry. So, Larry, oh, good. I get 2 texts a fucking century, and this is when they get, so for the episode, Larry finished 4-4. So if we go to the full standings, he goes from 8-11 to 12-15. Nice. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me for Xmas Your Enthusiasm, and I'll see you next episode.